begins, sizing up Murphy, drives, floats, hangs, and scores on the turnaround. J-Dub way behind the three-point line and hits way behind the three-point line. Got blocked. What a rejection by Holmgren. Standing tall like a wall.
This is I-Hart. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, and welcome to the Uncontested Podcast. Coming to you live Sunday, September 22nd. I would like to welcome all of the fine folks in the state of Oklahoma who have bailed on their college football teams and made the smart choice to shift over to NBA mode. There is only one undefeated college football team in the state of Oklahoma, and that would be JD and I's alma mater.
The University of Central Oklahoma.
Roll Chose, baby. I don't know what you're doing with your hands. I'm your host of the evening, Jacob Niffin. I got JD Silva with me.
Fellas.
Justin Peabody's here.
Hello, everybody.
Nick Crane.
Howdy.
There was only one intro for Nick Crane, and he missed it. Silva, play it.
Oh.
Twist it. I was like, what did I do
Me
wrong?
too.
And we've got Taylor Peterson.
My Chiefs are in a close one, so if I seem distracted, I apologize.
Par for the course.
Yep.
I have a bone to pick. So as I drove up to Norman for the football game yesterday, I was listening to the Wednesday show that I missed. And you were talking about podcast listening habits. And Jacob, you said, this is a rough quote, but something along the lines of, if you listen to the Uncontested at 2X, you should unsubscribe.
I think I maybe said go to hell.
Probably both. And I was listening to the Uncontested at 2X speed while I heard you say such a thing.
Psycho behavior.
So listen.
It's a 3-hour drive, Justin.
Do you know how many podcasts I listened to? I listened to a lot. I got through a lot. Here's how it happened.
Did you retain any of it?
Yeah, well, obviously, I just quoted it. You.
When you were done listening, did you talk at 2 times speed?
No, but it does every time
everyone
I listen.
Else sounds slow.
Every time I listen to the intro on our live shows, it does sound slow mo.
Yep.
Anyway, where I'm going with it, the way it started, I eased into it. I did like 1.25 for a little while, got used to that. I was like, I'm going to try 1.5. Did 1.5 and was like pretty happy. Like this, this works. One day by accident, I changed it to 2X.
I just want to clarify real quick. This is over the course of months.
Yeah.
I thought you meant just on that episode. You got like 5 minutes and you're like, crank this bitch up. It's time to go.
Back when I actually worked in an office and I'm driving in every day and I was listening to podcasts in the car, 1.5 working for me pretty good. One day I accidentally changed it to 2X and didn't notice. And I was listening to, I think it was a Game of Thrones podcast or something at the time. And I was thinking to myself, like, man, they're talking kind of fast. But like after about 20 minutes, I was like pretty used to it. And then I went to look at something on my phone and I saw that it was at 2X. And I was like, oh, that's why. But then I've never gone back. And I don't know that I'd ever finish a single podcast otherwise. I get distracted. I don't spend very much time in the car these days. And it's a game changer. But it does kind of make y'all sound like you're drunk when I'm listening at normal speed.
Tell you what's funky is on Spotify, maybe this has changed, but the speed of your podcasts is also the speed of your music.
Whoa, I don't like that at all.
If you listen, like there was one time, I forget what it was. I was like driving to work. I had like 25 minutes and the pod was like 40. I was like, I don't like doing the extra speed, but I got to do it to finish it. It's like during draft season, like some prospect I wanted to hear about. And I forgot about it. Went to listen to music that afternoon. I was like, this song seems different.
The remix.
It was because it was like super sped up.
That's wild.
I think they've changed that finally.
Turns into death metal blast.
Why did Drake say, I know when that hotline blinks so fast?
BBL Jersey at 2 times speed.
That's amazing.
Oh my!
It's our new intro.
All right. Well, with that, thank you guys for joining the Uncontested tonight. Folks, we are, at the time of this recording, 8 days away from Thunder Media Day.
Let's go.
I believe Sam Presti will talk to the media before the official media day.
Yep.
So we will have that content for you. Still up in the air on if we're going to do a Sunday show next week or if we are going to push it back 24 hours to Monday so we can talk about media day. Or maybe we do a Sunday and a Monday. Who knows? And I was looking at the calendar today, gentlemen. In 2 weeks and 1 day, it's 15 days total.
It's good math.
Quick math. We will be talking about our first OKC Thunder preseason basketball game against that bastard from France.
Evan Fournier.
Do you think he'll play?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Like 5 minutes.
Remember,
Maybe.
that was the first preseason game last year. Is our first chance to see Chet
Yeah, it
versus
was.
God. That hit like crack.
Yeah, it did.
That was incredible.
Noted crack user.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So
It's exciting. It's
lot-
here.
yeah, it's lots of stuff on the way. It's nearly here. So content is going to be just coming out the ears. Cannot wait. It's going to be a blast.
Do you guys like the Chet Wemby matchups still, or are you just like disturbed / annoyed
If
by?
you don't like
by
it, get ready to, because that's the rest of their careers.
I know, and I'm kind of like, just every episode, it's like, whatever
Every
Chet
episode.
does, there will be takes printed and stamped and shipped away to all of us nationwide.
But at some
After
point,
everyone.
it's the discourse now is so fresh that it's like he had more points, or he did this award, or he played better in this matchup. Ultimately, it's going to be playoff success. Like Wemby can be
Yep.
a freak and do all these things, but if he's not winning at the same level as Chet in the playoffs, although Chet kind of joined a team that was much better, that's how they're going to be judged.
Yep. It'll take Wemby a bit, right, to get judged on that same tier. But I agree.
He might win MVP in 2 years.
You gotta embrace it, Silva. This
You're
is
right.
what we suffered through Georgios Kalazakis for.
That's
is
right.
To be
100.
included in the narrative.
I think the narrative surrounding the matchup is so exhausting for sure. So to your point, like, and I'm thinking about during the game, Wemby does one big play, makes a highlight reel because he has some
People
crazy dunk
lose
with
their
his-
mind.
Oh yeah, but
like
the
that
Thunder win by
Joker meme.
20. Like that's
mean,
what's annoying. But the
having-
basketball itself,
Having
It's
narratives is a good thing. Like, not to trash on this
Content, baby.
franchise, but like, imagine the narrative you have to talk about all summer being why Brandon Miller is better than Scoot Henderson.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Yeah.
That would be tough.
Why LaMelo Ball might be good if he ever play. Like, take it, Silva, and run with it and have fun with it.
I just want to say that with TNT and Turner losing NBA rights after this year, and the chance that we will no longer have Charles Barkley to make comments about the citizens of San Antonio at the height of the Wemby career is honestly a shame and a loss. for all of us.
Malpractice. Yeah.
It's malpractice.
You're a Turner employee now, technically, Jacob. So you're
Contractor.
taking his place.
Well, hey, they're Turner's no longer spending like $4 billion on the NBA, so that money's got to go somewhere, brother.
I've
I
always
will
called
take
Jacob Niffen
literally
the Shaq of
zero
this show.
point zero 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 0.00001% of that money.
Slice of the pie.
You two could start a chicken restaurant with that.
Shaq's
bring
done a little bit.
Pluckers to
Shaq's done a little
OKC
bit of
finally.
everything.
Jake Niffin's Big Chicken.
I like the sound of that. Although I can't call it
I
the
don't.
big chicken because Shaq, I'm not as big as Shaq.
Jake Niffin's Little Chicken.
That sounds like a euphemism, and I don't
was
like that at
gonna
all. Well, moral of the story is lots of basketball on the way. And hey, once October 7th gets here, it's like,
Go
besides
time.
that 1 week break between the end of preseason and the start of the regular season, it's games like every other day, dudes.
Yeah, buddy.
We're back almost.
We're kind of like Moses. We suffered through the desert, and now we finally made it to the promised land. Is that it?
Known Christian Jacob Niffen.
Why would you say that live on the show? So Isaiah Hartenstein, known Christian Isaiah Hartenstein,
Oh boy.
dropped
Maybe.
a highlight video of his summer workouts.
You know, I was gonna drop my workout highlight video today, but I didn't want to compete with him.
Adding that
Like
to
your
my bet
basketball
payoff
highlights,
idea
or like
list.
just you in the gym, like
Yeah,
curl in
repping.
the 30s,
just me like on the living room floor with a resistance band.
and a yoga mat.
Yeah. A couple medicine balls.
It's actually just like an old towel.
Why are they called medicine balls?
Sports medicine, maybe? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Chat, help us out. Look it up. Get back to us.
Both my parents were physical therapists. I feel like I should know
Oh,
this.
here we
but
go.
I
It's
have no
because the
idea.
ball is said to promote health and invigorate the body.
There you go.
Why isn't it called a health ball?
Doesn't sound good.
I don't
It doesn't sound good because it's always been called a medicine ball. Kind of like your 2 times listening speed. To me, that doesn't sound good, but you're used to it.
Sure.
What do we think about Isaiah Hartenstein's pickup run video? Obviously, like we're not going to Zapruder film this thing, right?
Says
We're
you.
not
We do
going
need
to
content.
we're not going to Ben Simmons this thing, right?
Let's go to the tape.
But-
Should we pull it up? Is it
Hoodie
legal for us
Mellow.
to
No.
pull it up and
No.
play it on the
Don't
stream?
do that.
it's not.
No.
But my first comment on the video before we dive into like our overreactionary takes, because there's nothing else to talk about. The same way that we describe Ben Simmons workout videos as don't matter, it's just a workout, anyone can do it in that setting. Let's keep that same mindset as we talk about this, because you can't play both sides of that coin.
I disagree.
I also disagree. Ben Simmons sucks.
Every
Ben Si-
work, Mello, Jabari Smith, Jalen, like, go down the list.
Steven Adams shooting threes.
When was
I'll
the
never
last time
forget
one of
that.
these workout videos we actually like talked on a podcast like, halfway through the season and was like, you know what? That workout video, remember that one? I just
It's
saw
propaganda.
Never.
Honestly, the only one I can ever think of is Shea. Like we saw a lot him working on his step back three.
Yeah.
Was it 2 off seasons ago? And
That,
he
but that
incorporated
was
a
in
lot.
that
8
was in
seasons
like
ago.
an actual workout where he was,
Yeah.
was repeatedly doing the shot to get
Yeah.
better. It wasn't 5-on-5 loose defense.
It
That's
wasn't.
fair.
Yeah, it's
That
propaganda.
now that that's out of the way, go ahead and talk about it. like it's
Hartenstein for
nothing other.
MVP.
guys I like, workout video matter. Guys I don't like, doesn't matter.
It's got
That's
a
right.
point.
That's where the line is. Yes.
It was awesome though. You know, he's doing all kinds of things that centers don't usually do.
I mean, I think we're going to see Hartenstein bring the ball up, right?
It's real
Hart.
talk. Is there anything from that video? We saw him bring the ball up. We saw him shooting threes. We saw him making like off the dribble moves to the basket and dunking on dudes. Are there any aspects of that we're going to see actually in an NBA basketball game with Isaiah Hartenstein?
I'm a believer in the 3-pointers.
Yep.
I don't think
I
they'll
am
be
too.
I don't think they'll be of the step back variety. But I think watching him shoot those even in a low defensive setting further quantifies my belief in him being a shooter.
And the stroke looks good.
Yeah.
He's got a nice release. He's got nice lift on it. The ball's got a nice arch. Like it's a good looking jumper. I think we'll see trail threes from him in transition, like you do with Chet. I think we'll see corner threes from him. Now, are they gonna run a pin down elbow, like catch and turn shoot? Hell no.
I hope not.
I actually kind of hope they do. That would. You want to talk about content?
Yeah,
Oh,
no
boy.
kidding.
I could see corner threes. I could see the trail threes. But Nick, I'm with you. I think the 3-point thing is going to happen in OKC. I think, honestly, maybe that's not the selling point. The selling point on him coming to Oklahoma City was the dollars, right? But
Yeah.
I think part of the pitch was probably, we believe you are so much more versatile offensively than what you got to display in New York. And for how great of a coach Tibbs is, he kind of like put the reins on you and kept you in a specific bubble and wouldn't let you explore that game. We want you, like, we're going to encourage you to explore that game. We want to push the boundaries of that. We're not just going to say, set a screen, get a rebound.
Exactly.
And if I were Isaiah Hartenstein, that'd be a good selling point. Hey, I get to go like ball out a little bit more.
Yep.
And then potentially come back after my 2-year contract is up and get more money, being able to showcase what else I'm capable of. With the 3-point shot, I also think about the pick and pop. Hartenstein, one thing that Jacob talked a lot about during the offseason, and I agree with, is his screen setting abilities. And to have a lob threat like that who can roll to the basket and attack the rim, or can just be, roll to the basket and catch a lob, if the guards can throw those passes, we'll see. That's fantastic. But when you also are able to incorporate a wrinkle of him being able to pick and pop and, relocate to the 3-point line after a screen, and then you have Shea or Dub or whoever's driving, kicking out to him for a wide open 3, just more and more versatility for this super versatile offense.
Here's a question, since we're on the 3-point topic. Pick a setting, whether it's end of a game, got to make it to win, or offense is stagnant, need something to kind of break the game open. Are you more comfortable with Isaiah Hartenstein or Josh Giddey as a 3-point shooter?
It's a good question, Nick. It's a good question.
Hartenstein, because I am prone to having optimism in things I am inexperienced with.
I feel the exact same way.
I know what I have in Josh Giddey, and I know that I don't like it. I can be fooled into believing in Isaiah Hartenstein's 3-point shooting very easily.
I'll say this: if you'd never watched either play, like maybe you're a big high school basketball guy and you don't really watch college or pro. If you watch those two guys in a workout setting or like a private workout, like 1-on-0, I think you would believe Hartenstein's the better shooter naturally.
Looks like he's done it his whole life.
Yeah.
And Josh is like
had that like push shot when he was like,
yes,
it was just always
like, oh
goofy.
boy,
and the
you're a
pause,
work in progress.
the slow release and wind up, like it.
And hey, for what it's worth, Josh hit like back-to-back threes in Game 4 in the fourth quarter against New Orleans, and they were awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's fair.
With that being said, give me Hartenstein. I buy
That's
it.
so fair.
Is
I
this
do want to
gonna
give
be
Josh his due, though.
Well, yeah. Is this going to be a Steven Adams thing where we always saw it in the offseason, but it never actually saw it? To me, his shot looks even better than Steven Adams, because Steven Adams was like, oh, he's working on it every offseason. Like he has tried to replicate this shot.
Here's the thing. I don't know this for a fact, and I'd be interested to hear your guys' opinion on this. I mean, we even saw Steve-O swish that 3 in Tulsa in that preseason game.
Right.
First play of the preseason, right? We were like, oh, here we go. And then he never shot him again, except for heaves. But it was the same thing in New Orleans and then the same thing in Memphis. I think the reason Steven never shot the threes was because of Steven. And he did, like, Steven was very much like all about efficiency and making the right basketball play. And not saying that that's not what Hartenstein is about. But I think Steve-O never felt comfortable, never wanted to shoot threes in an actual NBA game. I don't think it was like a coaching thing or like a systemic thing. I do not see Hartenstein being that way. I think he wants to shoot them in games. Yeah. And I think given the green light and the opportunity to explore that aspect of his game, he will. Like right now, if you gave me 1.5 as the over-under on Hartenstein threes per game, like I'm leaning close to the over.
Really?
Like maybe like 1.6, 1.7, maybe doesn't take a full 2 per game. Yeah. But I'm close to it. You look at
the free throw shooting percentage, which sometimes is an indicator of 3-point shooting success. Steven Adams is a career like 40-50% free throw shooter. Hartenstein is in the 60s and 70s. So like if you're looking for somebody who's gonna feel more comfortable shooting the ball, Hartenstein has that. I think I agree, Jacob. Like I would not be surprised to see that number kind of hover around what you said, 1.6, 1.7.
What about some of the other stuff from the? Oh, go ahead, JD. I'm sorry.
I was gonna transition us so we can go back. I was thinking about fit, double big lineups, things of that nature. But the other stuff in the video, I would not expect to see the ball handling stuff. I mean, to me, he looked more athletic than I realized, but he's an NBA player. Like that's gonna happen. It's a off-season workout against who knows who.
All you have to do is go watch the videos of Brian Scalabrine, like dominating dudes in pickup runs to know
No.
exactly what you said of like any NBA player is going to look very impressive against anyone else.
Now, he was playing against some NBA folks. I'm gonna go blank. Who's the big that Nick has always loved that just never panned out? The number 2 overall
Wiseman?
pick.
Wiseman?
Yeah, I think Wiseman was in that run. So it's like he wasn't playing against like small dudes who can't play ball, right? Like Wiseman would also shine in
Just
that
big dudes who can't play ball.
in that
Yeah.
setting.
That was unnecessary.
I don't know. I might have, and Taylor, I'd be interested to hear your kind of opinion on this as well, while you're not watching the Chiefs game.
We just scored all as well. Continue.
I'm not entirely convinced that there won't be a little bit of Hartenstein putting the no. They're not going to have him like bring the ball up the floor like Chet does. I think if he gets a defensive rebound, he's outletting. He's not. He could. I don't think that's the plan. But I could definitely see plays where they're running like a DHO with Hartenstein, and he fakes the handoff and then turns and takes 2 or 3 dribbles and goes through somebody or euros around somebody or hits a reverse or something like that. Like I could see little deception type of plays where he puts the ball on the floor and that has to actually attack the basket.
I agree completely. Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
No, just on that note, just real quick, if you're a big that catches and surveys, stand still. Off-ball defenders only have to, like, they've got their guy they're defending, and they've got the big that's not moving. It's kind of easy to like stay on your path and know how to read the offense that way. But when the big catches and is moving, and the guys off ball are moving, all of a sudden, like, it's a lot harder to defend as a team. I think that's valuable in itself.
Yeah.
And I can see it coming from kind of like you mentioned, Jacob, like the elbow or the high post. You throw an entry pass into Hartenstein, you space the floor, especially like with that second unit when they're going to be staggering Hartenstein and Chet. You have like Isaiah Joe, some of these other shooters that can space the floor out there. You just kind of let him go to work, not only to be able to get to the rim and create contact, get to the free throw line or finish around the rim. But the other thing that we've talked about this offseason ever since Hartenstein signed with the Thunder is his playmaking ability. And he's able to do so off the dribble. We did see some of that in the highlight run, for example. So him being able to put the ball on the floor like that, it just gives you another wrinkle. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's not so much just letting him go one-on-one and trying to get to the basket as much as it is like you have him driving to the rim off the elbow, and then all of a sudden you have Aaron Wiggins or whoever else it is cutting baseline, and it creates all these opportunities for the offense.
It's not ISO Hart, but it's using it as a piece to be a connector.
Now,
Whether it
ISO
be
Hart sounds really cool, though. I like that.
whether it be ball handling or like a post up, I don't think we're going to see isolation Isaiah.
Yeah.
We all just kind of described Jay Will's role with the team last year, except Hartenstein is like a lot better. So
Kind of,
Does
yeah.
a little bit more
Yeah.
and is 7'1".
yeah,
I keep saying it, and I think it's just because of I think you compare people to things you already know. And so if I was covering another team in another market, my Isaiah Hartenstein comparison might be a little bit different. But I still can't get over it's the size of Steven Adams in the game of Nick Collison.
Sounds good to me.
which really speaks to us. Like we know what that means.
Exactly. You know, it's the
Yeah.
Steve-O size, the Steve-O aggression on the boards, but it's the Nick pick and pop game. It's the Nick two-man game. It's the Nick DHO game. It's the Nick backdoor passing game. There a lot of those two guys, I think, kind of coalesce in what Isaiah Hartenstein will do for this team, but you also add in, I think, the three-point shooting. And JD, you started to head down this road a second ago, but I think the two big lineups are going to work just fine, especially if Isaiah can shoot it.
I think this conversation and us kind of discussing, because I've been like not opposed to it, but I've just assumed that we're not going to see a lot of the double big lineup, and I assume that Caruso will start and not Hartenstein because I just haven't really thought of the possibility of him shooting threes. Like I just haven't. It's not something I've interacted with really. I'm just like, oh, he's not going to do it. He does it in the off season, whatever. It's not going to happen. But if that is the reality, and if we're describing basically just Jay Will's role, like, yeah, we saw that work, and he's a lot better, and He has a lot more skilled. It's not like you're putting Steven Adams next to Chet. Like, that's not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see it working.
And I think defensively it can work.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Defensively,
The biggest difference is that, I think the reason why you didn't get more J. Will and Chet was because of that side of the floor. You don't have to worry about that with Hartenstein, which alone I think probably makes more situations where you're comfortable playing those two together.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I could see them running zone with those two guys, one playing the bottom corner and one playing the rim. It's probably Hartenstein playing the rim and Chet being the weak side roamer and guarding all the way out to the corner. And then you put them in man, I think it works. I think Chet can guard fours in the league. I mean, we've seen Chet switch and hold up just fine on smaller offensive players. Like,
I think
fun
the defense,
work.
the defensive matchup is what I'm most excited about. And Jacob and I were on hardwood knocks, and actually that just dropped here a couple days ago, so it's perfect timing.
Yeah,
but one thing that I mentioned about that defensive pairing is last year Chet had to be that defensive anchor around the rim, and if you have Hartenstein in there alongside him, that allows Chet. And I always use this analogy comparing football and basketball, but to play more of a free safety role around the rim. So imagine Chet not having to just like stay down. He's able to roam.
He doesn't have to anchor. He can roam.
Off ball. Right. Exactly. And that's going to be huge. I think we see his block numbers go up. Maybe I'll save that for our bets podcast. That'll be coming up in a couple weeks, right?
Taylor making that comp, Nick, also makes me a little bit worried because that makes me think that Taylor just believes a free safety just goes out on the football field and does whatever the hell he wants and just runs around the whole time.
He's free.
It's a free safety.
And a strong safety is the same thing. He's just stronger.
Right.
Strong safety is a little bit stronger.
They're just bigger.
I think just a data point that was interesting looking at Hartenstein last season, one of the best two-man lineups for the Knicks was Hartenstein and Anunoby, which Anunoby's awesome, so it's not shocking. And I don't think Chet is like Anunoby. I also don't think like J-Dub is like Anunoby, but I think there's pieces of Anunoby's game that are similar to both of those guys. Mm-hmm. We get all caught up in this Chet Hartenstein two-man. How's it going to fit? We also need to think about Hartenstein and J-Dub because they're going to play a lot of minutes together in the front court, and I think that is also going to work very, very well.
I could see there being a lot of chemistry there, like a little two-man game between those two, especially if you have like Shea and Chet on the bench. There could be some really fun minutes to be had.
I think, Justin, to that point, and I almost made the joke earlier, I think we're going to see the Isaiah squared lineup a lot. I legit think you are going to get so many good looks out of either Isaiah pin downs for Isaiah Joe or the DHO off to the elbow where you swing the ball over. Isaiah Hartenstein gets it at the elbow. Joe comes off a screen, curls up, takes the DHO, and just turns right into a pull-up J. And if he takes that handoff and he takes that corner and they blitz him, and then it's a very simple bounce pass in between the blitz to a rolling Hartenstein for a dunk. Like, I think the Isaiah two-man game could be disgustingly good.
Man, we're about to find out a lot about
Isaiah squared.
Isaiah, because that's a lot of processing and decision making for Isaiah, which we haven't seen a ton of.
Which Isaiah?
Joe.
I think he'll be fine with that. I mean,
no, I don't think he'll be bad. I think that's an area of growth that we could see out of him.
And it's not like you're asking him to run like multiple pick and rolls. Just, hey, come off the DHO, get the ball, open shoot, not open pass.
Yeah.
Like make it very binary, right?
Yeah.
One or zero.
So what the OU offense should do. We'll see if they adjust. Simplify the decision making.
Get this man on a football podcast. Let's take our first break
mode
of the night. On the other side, we're going to talk some matchups that the Thunder could face in the playoffs. Screw the regular season. We're going to hit fast forward for 6 months. We will be right back. And we are back. Gentlemen, going to be real honest with you. We're just kind of running out of shit to talk about. We need these press conferences.
I tried to talk about shredded meat on Wednesday, and you guys didn't want it.
I was interested to hear more.
I don't like it.
I absolutely was not, but go off, JD. Go off.
I don't like it.
JD, you got 30 seconds for shredded meat. Go.
Okay, shredded meat, my least favorite type of cut of meat. It's always either too dry or too wet. Wet shredded meat, like out of a crock pot, hate it. Hate it. If I see a taco that's wet shredded meat, get it away from me.
What's your stance on pulled pork?
That's a different story. It's pulled.
Pulled, not shredded.
But
And
I
it's-
think those are synonyms in this scenario.
Look, pulled pork in the setting that it's in, usually good.
Hey, what happens if you twist the pork?
Twist it.
Let's talk some matchups. We need
Hang
to
on,
talk about
hang on, because you brought it up.
Thunder Chick, you're right, by the way. It's not a cut.
This was also in my head as you guys were talking about Bop It. So my kids got me this for my birthday a couple years ago.
Oh, cool.
This is a Bop It.
Oh,
So this is Twist It.
for audio listeners, he has a little Darth Vader.
It's yes, thank you. It's a Darth Vader Bop It. You twist the lightsaber, you pull the fist, and you bop him on the head. That's
really cool.
fantastic. A plus.
That's cool.
Bonk.
Bonk 'em all.
how did Nick's Twist It sound in 2x speed?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
This one is like Emperor Palpatine's voice. So it's like twist it.
That's a way better sounder. Please clip that
That's a
one.
great sound.
32 minutes, JD. Get the timestamp.
That's awesome.
Thought we could talk about some other teams in the context of their matchups with OKC. I mean, we're not a Lakers pod, thank God, even though we'd probably have like 10 billion listeners.
That's true.
And I'd hate them all.
Lakers fans are kind of degenerates, if we're being honest.
Kind of?
Yeah, just very much degenerates. They became Lakers fans as soon as they left that Dallas Cowboys game today. Sorry, Nick. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Love you, Nick.
Not going to offend me.
Okay.
Cowboys are not a good team. I'm not like upset that they're not winning football games.
I'm not making fun of them not winning football games. I'm just saying the Lakers fans are bandwagoners who also like the New York Yankees and the Dallas.
Well, who the hell's bandwagoning
Sometimes
for a team
the
that
Warriors.
hadn't won in 28 years? I don't think there's many bandwagoners for the Cowboys. I think those are Chiefs, buddy.
That could be true. Could be true.
Very true.
Nick, as a Cowboys fan, I'm just curious. Do you own like a Cowboys jersey and wear it with a pair of jorts? Because I feel like
He does
that's the
own
move.
multiple jerseys.
Faded
jorts.
jorts.
Be cool if you did.
I do not wear jorts. No.
And like some white and cowboy blue Jordan 4s.
Okay.
No,
Now
not Jordan 4s. That's got to be like the weird, like
Is that the John Cena fit?
Jordan 6 rings that you get at Marshall's for $30.
Some and ones.
Yeah.
No, I
Some
today
Starberries.
Today I wore a white T-shirt, khaki shorts, and a Cowboys hat. That's it.
Touche.
Understated. Mm-hmm.
All right, so we don't cover other teams is where we were going with that. So we don't want to like talk in depth about them, but I think talking about other teams in relation to how the Thunder match up is an interesting conversation. So I have pulled the over-unders from BetMGM for this season, and I put them in order. It's a challenging task for me, but we got it done.
Thank you.
And this is what the standings, if everything fell like Vegas says it will, this is what the standings would look like in the West. Oklahoma City, number 1. Denver, number 2. Minnesota, number 3. Dallas, number 4. Memphis, number 5. This Coke Zero's got me a little gassy.
Little
Little burpee.
A little what?
little
gassy.
Okay.
burp.
Get the Oreo one. Is that what it is?
No, I wish I had the Oreo.
You need
one,
me to come over and burp you, Jacob?
please.
Just a little pat.
Cream cheese in the chat from George.
Memphis
I
at
don't
5.
like that at all.
Memphis at 5, which is interesting. Phoenix at 6. Sacramento at 7. New Orleans at 8. The Lakers at 9. Golden State at 10. And I just had to throw them in there. Houston at 11. So I wanted to talk. Let's pretend that the Thunder do end in the top 4. I think we all assume that. And let's assume that the next 4 are Memphis, Phoenix, Sacramento. And do you guys want New Orleans, the Lakers, or Golden State to be number 8?
Say those again. Lakers.
New Orleans, or Golden State as the 8th seed. Which one do you
New
want?
Orleans.
You want New Orleans?
Probably New Orleans.
All right.
They're really good with Zion, and they have DeJounte.
I want to ask you guys, which team is the best case scenario for OKC, and which team would be the worst case scenario? Matchups, everything included. We're assuming health for the Thunder in the first round between Memphis, Phoenix, Sacramento, and New Orleans. So, Nick, let's start over with you. You can go whichever direction you want. You can tell us which one you think would be the worst matchup for OKC in the first round of those four, and which one would be the best. Your choice, and kind of give us a reason why.
I think the best matchup is the Phoenix Suns. I just don't buy it. I just don't. I know they're supposed to be better this year, and there's people that are high on them. They could be really good. At some point, the idea just doesn't work. And
it's like Jacob's fantasy football team.
Right.
A lot of good names, bad
Right.
team.
Until we see that big three be good, I don't buy it.
I completely agree.
Plus the depth. Like, sure, maybe they're
So
a little
this
more
is
deep.
more about Phoenix and less about the matchup with OKC.
I mean, I think both can be true.
Right.
If Phoenix is the least scared, and to be clear, Phoenix had some really under the radar offseason moves. The matchup stuff, this could be just like super naive of me. I think Oklahoma City has a counterpunch to almost anything you can throw at them if they're fully healthy at this point.
I agree.
I mean, you throw Lou on Book, you throw Caruso on Beal. That feels like elder abuse.
I think you let Beal cook.
Right.
You want Beal taking shots. If Beal's taking volume shots, you win. So maybe you don't put a great defender on him. You put somebody.
Put SGA on him?
Everybody's a good defender, which is the hard part.
Yeah.
I mean, you could put Dub on KD. You could put Chet on KD and let
Caruso on KD, I
Hartenstein
like
guard
also.
the big ass Bosnian that is
Yusuf Nurkic.
Yusuf.
Your favorite player
Big
behind
ass
Rudy Gobert?
Bosnian.
Hey, he's shooting threes in the offseason. What do you think about that?
I think it takes the dude half an hour to get up the court.
I don't like him, so it means nothing.
That one was irrelevant.
So simple.
Throw that one out the window.
So simple.
I agree. And again, Phoenix just doesn't have the depth still, even with some of their underrated offseason acquisitions.
Who's the point
In a
guard they picked
7-game
up?
series, Tyus Jones, right?
And
or no?
Monte Morris.
Yeah.
Who thought he was going to be the starter till he wasn't?
Poor bastard.
Oops.
Silva, was that a chat bubble that popped up next to your head?
Was it? It's been happening recently.
You did some, yeah.
I don't think they do it for me. You're supposed to do like thumbs up or thumbs
Mine
down.
doesn't work
or...
either.
There it is.
There
There it is.
Right on cue.
I don't know.
Good for you.
I hear if you do the
guess.
middle finger, it might do something.
Get me kicked out of the stream.
Nick was going to try it. Do the rest of you guys agree that Phoenix would be best case scenario for OKC out of those four?
Yeah. Let's
Unfortunately,
flip
yeah.
to someone on here that's not me has to pick the worst case scenario, and then we can like fill in the middle from there.
Can I?
So again, that those teams, if we're going Phoenix as best case scenario, which I guess I agree. I think Phoenix maybe has the highest ceiling, lowest floor of those four. But then you have Memphis, Sacramento, and New Orleans. Which of those four would be the worst case scenario for OKC?
Is it Memphis? It's got to be Memphis, right? Like when they're healthy, they're really good. I would
right.
still pick the Thunder in that series, but they have a lot of size. They have Zach Edey. They have I don't know. I'm not like that high on Memphis, but
Zach
out of
Edey's
those
big,
names-
but he can't move. Like, I have to see it in the NBA.
Brother, I think you're going to be pretty shocked.
Maybe, but I have to see it.
I think
I'm
Zach
not gonna-
Edey's
That's
running
where I was
away
coming
with
at.
Rookie of the Year. Like running away with it.
I mean, if
It's a
if
pretty
you're
rough rookie class, if we're being honest.
Maybe more like jogging away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like nobody else is worthy.
I think I agree
I'll
with you,
believe
though.
it. Nick, I'm not like legitimately like not trying to like shit on the guy at all or tell you that you're wrong, Nick. I need to see it.
I need to see their roster because I don't know
You
if I
will see
know.
it.
I think he will rebound. I think he will get paint points. I think he'll block shots. I'm really interested to see how he can hold up defensively in a perimeter-oriented league and not playing Big Ten basketball.
Especially in the playoffs. Playoffs is what I'm most curious about.
So
to see Zach
It,
Edey.
it worked for Steve-O
That
in that
being
same
said,
system.
That being said, I know Triple J doesn't necessarily love doing this all the time, but the Grizzlies also have the ability to go quote unquote smaller with Jaren Jackson at the center position, which I think makes them a little more versatile.
Yep.
For them, I think pretty highly of their talent and how they all play together when healthy. Can they still stay healthy? Can Marcus Smart stay healthy? Can Jaw stay healthy? Can Triple J stay healthy? If they can, they're a very fun team. But again, the depth is another piece there for me when I compare it to OKC. I just don't see how they're able to outlast OKC in a 7-game playoff series.
See, I consider New Orleans here. And I know the Thunder just swept them, but we said we'd consider health.
Not the same team.
Zion.
Not
Right.
the same team.
The Zion thing I think is big.
I think those are definitely
Missing a big is a
the
good, but
two.
I think they
Yeah.
have the best defenders to slow down Oklahoma City.
Totally.
I thought that, and then they
And-
didn't.
Under the assumption, excuse me, that by the time you see them in the playoffs, they've acquired a big at the deadline. Gotta
That's
assume.
key is the Brandon
Sure.
Ingram
True.
piece. Just
I don't
like
know
we
if
want to
Nick,
see
I don't know if you've been on the show
Memphis.
with me when we've had this conversation, but I think they are a Nikola Vucevic team for sure. Like that just it kind of fits for me.
Yeah, the money. I don't know where they're gonna get it. They're pretty.
I might have to be a 3-way trade with Brandon Ingram, which is really not sexy, but that's the need.
I would
Ingram
do
for
that.
Vucevic is just.
I think you got to
slop.
keep Ingram and try to get somebody else.
I think they could also be a DeAndre Jordan, or not a DeAndre Jordan. Jesus Christ!
Wow.
DeAndre Ayton team.
I think they'll be a Robert Williams team.
Oh,
See,
More
I
help.
like that. And you want to talk about being worried about health in your front court. If your front
Sure,
court is
sure.
Robert Williams third and Zion Williams,
But if they're healthy, brother, oh my.
if they're healthy, they're awesome. But they're going to play a combined 5 games next year.
Yeah.
Like I have zero faith in that. But
They also have Jose Alvarado be healthy, hopefully. I mean, that's a damn good team. It's a good point, Jacob. Like
Pesky
they should be on
defenders.
the list.
I think that's the caveat with both of them, right? Is health, but like New Orleans, we haven't seen that fully healthy team in a minute, right? It's easy to remember the sweep, but they were really good last year, and then Memphis even more so. It's been a while since we've seen that fully put together Memphis squad when they were gunning for the 2 seed not that long ago. Like they were in that top conversation. It's gonna make it extra fun. I think those are definitely the two for me.
Yeah.
It's hard to choose between them as far as what I think the worst case is. I might lean Memphis just
star
because
power.
yeah, like the jaw factor I think is valid.
Yeah.
He can go off any given night.
I feel like a
I-
lot
I
of the
do
Memphis
feel
shine
like-
has come off from me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like New Orleans definitely is the better defensive team for Oklahoma City with the wing defenders. I mean, I know Shea cooked the absolute crap out of them in the playoffs last year.
Yep.
But I mean, their defenders are really, really good.
Yeah.
I don't see how they score on this Thunder team.
Agreed.
It's. I'm gonna go. My vote officially will be Memphis here.
Okay, it sounds like we're going Memphis as the worst case scenario.
Yeah. I mean, I think today, and we said the same thing about Dallas last year with Lively, but kind of wild that Yves Misi's going to start at center for them.
Yeah.
Or
That's
he?
going to be an issue.
Or is Daniel Tice?
I don't think Daniel Tice is going to start.
If he, man, that's like not good.
We
Not
said
at all.
we said that same thing about Derek Lively last year. This
I
time,
know.
this exact time last year, he
I-
only
I-
averaged
I-
5 and 4 at Duke. He's
I
not
just
ready.
It
don't
can't
think
happen
Yves-
twice,
I
though,
just
right?
don't think Yves is Derek Lively.
No, I
Gafford,
agree.
too.
Derek Lively was like a #1 player in his class. EYBL
Yep.
stud. Yves started playing basketball 5 years ago. It's very different.
And I think
but-
Yves is going to be great, but a completely different center.
Yeah,
I will say that worst case scenario is not. It's pretty favorable still. And the
And
Thunder are
I
really
think,
good.
Yeah,
Thunder
I
are really
think the
good.
Memphis matchup is a matchup where you really can play the two bigs,
Yeah.
which is fun.
I just feel like
Um,
any style Memphis plays, OKC can match it and match it better. Like,
Yeah.
They're just a more talented
OKC's like
team.
10% better at whatever style of play Memphis wants to go to.
Yeah.
I am totally with you on that. And I just wouldn't mind seeing Memphis in the playoffs just to bring back
Fun.
those old playoff vibes.
Yep. Those were fun series.
I think
FedEx Forum's a good
a
arena.
chapter in my Thunder fanfic book is J-Dub singing "Whoop That Trick" after the Thunder win Game 4 to sweep Memphis in the FedEx Forum.
On top of the scores table.
Do we all agree there'd be a lot of shit talking in that series?
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
That would be a
Top
blast.
tier.
You gotta. I'm not gonna say it. Never mind. All right. So when the Thunder make it to the second round and the Western Conference Finals, this is the same pool of teams, so we're going to do this all in one. Best and worst case scenario, JD, you can kick us off on this one. You choose if you want to do best case or worst case. Doesn't matter to me. Between Denver, Minnesota, and Dallas.
That is fun. That is fun.
So fun.
It is a lot of fun. Is worst case? I kind of want to go worst case.
Okay.
It's just easier for me to embrace that and to go the pessimism of it all. I kind of want to go Dallas.
Oh, I have the opposite opinion.
Am I just?
Oh.
I think I might still be pissed off at how that series went last time, and I'm expecting that to happen again.
I don't think that happens.
I
again.
think
Please
best case is
talk me
Dallas.
off the ledge. Like, I don't know.
I think
Denver's gonna-
Minnesota.
Minnesota
the
is
worst.
exactly where I was going to go.
Interesting. I might go Denver for
Okay.
worst case.
I don't
Tell
know.
us
I
why.
I'm closer to putting Denver at best case scenario of these
same.
three.
Wow.
Same.
Agreed.
I would go Denver worst case, 2 words. Can you guess them?
Is it a name?
Nikola Jokic.
Nikola
Jokic.
Jokic.
Well, yeah, but
Okay,
What about
like,
beyond that?
2 other words. Who else?
Hey,
Final 2
Zing.
words. Checkmate.
I wasn't aware we were playing chess.
Another 2
Denver-
words. Twist it.
Twist it.
Stop it. The Denver might be cooked. Like
I'm with you.
overall,
Burn it
call
down.
him a Denver omelet, if you will. Jokic is
There's
amazing.
some shredded meat because JD ain't messing with them.
Yeah. Cut the ham and put in some pulled pork, please. Maybe some cream cheese. The
Did you call him a
Jokic is
Denver
gonna-
omelet and then say yolk itch? Like an
yolk.
you know-
Ooh, yolk itch.
All right, sorry.
I don't know what I was saying anymore. Jokic is going to be awesome, but that team construction is nasty at this point, and they don't have a lot of flexibility to fix it. And I don't know that Jokic can do it alone anymore.
Tell me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Thank you. I feel like I'm being gaslit that Christian Brown is just going to fill in what KCP did, and they're going to be just
Yeah,
fine
right.
with that starting lineup, and everything's good to go,
No.
and I don't need to worry about it. Like, I
think
feel
it's
like I'm being gaslit by that.
I think it's
Yep.
less. I agree with you, but I think it's less about. I think Christian Brown can be 85% of KCP, and that's okay. But who's going to be 85% of Christian Brown off the bench? Like,
That's a
that's
great
what
question.
freaks me out.
Yeah.
Not only are you having to have a guy fill in a role he may not be ready for, but that guy that was good off your bench has to be filled too.
Now, who's the Gonzaga guard they have?
Taylor and I
Strother?
did this exercise and ranked all
Strother?
the.
We
all the-
did.
Strother.
Julian Strother.
I think Strother can hoop.
Sarich. The old Dario.
That's right.
Yeah,
Some
that's-
Thunder revenge
I'm
games in him.
0% worried about that.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook.
Oh,
I'm gonna catch
heard
flack
it.
on the pod.
Here it is.
I'm not worried about that either.
Indeed.
Hey, his offseason workout video. Silva,
So
did you
good.
care? Did you not care?
didn't see it.
There also has to be something with an off-season workout video being from a 25-year-old. Is that how old Hartenstein is?
26.
25, 26. versus a guy who's a decade older than Russ. Like, Russ is what he is. And the game plan is very easy. Just go under every pick and roll.
Now, Minnesota as worst case scenario, kind of similar to what we talked about on some of the first round matchups. I think what's interesting about Minnesota is like if there's a team that can match up in the things that the Thunder does well and go toe to toe, I feel like it's Minnesota. Like the defense is out. Like we talked, like you were talking about with New Orleans, right? Of like what makes that New Orleans matchup interesting. Minnesota's got that and then some. And then on the offensive side, I think that's where like they can really go toe to toe with the Thunder, whereas New Orleans maybe not. And I think that combination, that would be one, the series would be a blast. And you want to talk about trash talking, like that would get unhinged.
I'm willing to say those are the two best teams in the West. If they match up in the second round, I think that's basically the Western Conference Finals.
I mean, yeah, that's what we thought it was going to be last year, kind of.
Yep.
Question on Hartenstein. So there's a lot of discourse this week about was he overpaid. I think we all know the answer to that. Like maybe he was overpaid, but like the guy you need,
and you have to spend the money somewhere.
Like we can smush that debate. Who do you guys think is the best team in the East?
Boston.
They run a lot of lineups with Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford. Who do you think's the best team in the West outside of OKC?
Minnesota.
What do they do a lot of?
Two big lineups.
It's almost like Sam Presti does this thing where he's really good at his job, and you can't think in a vacuum that Hartenstein got paid too much. Maybe it's because the teams you're going to be competing with for a championship the next couple of years, like you might need a big.
It's really good
Agreed.
point. It's a good
And
point.
the versatility
And
the
for
different
what's
options.
Yeah, for what it's worth, how many times did Minnesota and OKC play last year? 4?
Yeah.
And they split it 2-2.
Yeah.
But all 4 of those games, like J-Dub had cat in hell.
Mm-hmm.
Which
But
is
what if he
awesome.
doesn't? What if he doesn't?
Yeah,
Then you
for
have
sure.
the option.
And to his defense, Cat played great in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And shut a lot of people up. And it was very impressive.
I think you'd prefer that.
But Hartenstein's going to make Rudy Gobert look like a little boy.
No, I think you prefer in like the Western Conference Finals or the Finals. You are dictating the style of play.
Yeah.
And it's Lou and Alex and Shea and Dub and Chet out there. But if for whatever reason you can't play your style and you got to match them, you have the option now.
Yeah, the optionality is huge.
Yeah.
I also think that OKC's two big lineup is like those two players is the least exploitable of those three we talked about with Kristaps and Horford. Horford's like really up there in age at this point. It kind of was looking cooked at times in last postseason. And then Minnesota's two big lineup, like
Has
we all
Rudy
know,
Gobert.
we all know the Gobert thing. Like Gobert, we don't know what he's dealing with emotionally after being benched by his national team on the biggest stage.
I'm going to be honest, don't care.
Oh, me either. But this would be a good time for me to have the Gobert sounder, but I don't have it still.
We'll find it.
You got to fix that.
We'll find
So are
it.
we in
Can you
agreement?
just say it again, Jacob?
We
It's
tried
not the
that
same.
once.
We tried
it.
it.
Didn't
It
have
just
the,
does not
it
hit
didn't,
the same.
As
He's
much
not
as I
having the right
hate Rudy
inflection.
Gobert.
No.
See,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
not
not
the
the same
Didn't sound the
emphasis.
same.
No.
Damn it.
as a one of one.
Sounders are like one of one. Like
Yeah.
we're never gonna get the. I don't even know what this was. It a meow from
What?
Nick? Was it a?
Twist it. It's not a meow. I'll tell you that.
I don't know what it is, but it's incredible, and we'll never get that again.
That's right.
I don't know how to make that noise.
I got this back
You got to
from Taylor.
twist it.
Vegas.
Vegas.
It's not the same when I say it.
Give me a Justin one.
I wish someone would baste me.
All right,
Lead sounder.
round
I
us
bet it
out. We
feels
need
good.
we need a Jacob, a Taylor, and a J. Or you just gave us a Taylor one, so we need a Jacob and a JD one.
I'm never making another parlay in my life.
That's fair. I haven't.
The disappointment
cow
in that
was
voice.
thoroughly
you
milked.
can't replicate that.
So we're in
Classics,
agreement.
all of 'em.
Minnesota is the worst matchup,
Worst
I
case.
definitely think so.
like worst case scenario.
Yeah.
JD, I'm going back to what you originally said. I I think Dallas is the best.
I
And
said
it's
they're the
not
worst.
because the other two. Yeah, it's not because the other two are just so difficult.
Just breezed right over that.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm biased. I have a thorough distaste for the Dallas Mavericks. But when I look at what both teams did in the offseason and the growth that both teams are capable of with their young players, what are you laughing so much at?
I just thought about something. I'll tell you in a second.
Okay. I just think that the Thunder are just the better team.
Yeah.
Like when Dallas throws their best 5 out there in crunch time versus OKC's best 5, one team can lock in defensively, and the other team has 3 what I would call suboptimal defenders or sub-average defenders on the court in Kyrie, Luka, and Clay. And if your other two are PJ Washington and
Gafford,
Derek Lively,
Yeah.
it's not going to be Gafford.
It'll be Lively.
Those are good defenders. Like I would say PJ Washington for his career is slightly above league average defender. And I think Lively is going to be a very good big defender. But those other 3 out there, I think he just might be cooked. Meanwhile, OKC can lock up at every position. I think roster construction and like Nick mentioned earlier, the versatility. I just think the Thunder are a better team than the Dallas Mavericks, even though Dallas probably has the best player in the matchup.
I thought they were better than them last year also.
Yeah.
But then
And you
That's
just
the
got
playoffs,
2
baby.
out-of-mind performances for a series by 2 guys that had no business doing that.
exactly.
Which can happen.
Yep.
Yep,
100%.
that can always happen in the playoff series.
Yep.
That's how you win a title.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is you have guys that just do something, have a great matchup, or get hot for a period of time.
So you mentioned you were biased. And the reason I was laughing, I don't know what it's going to be yet. Our bets pod's coming up. This is a teaser for that. I'm going to bet Silva something, and if he loses, he has to change his Twitter handle to @biasOKC.
That'd be awesome.
I love that.
That's good.
Love that idea. And then has to spend a whole day like tweeting unhinged.
Yeah,
Thunder
stuff that
takes.
just makes no sense.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a bet with JD that he's got to eat some shredded meat.
For a whole
Live
day,
on the
nothing
pod.
but shredded
Remember
meat.
that cereal that was the worst on planet Earth called shredded wheat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So
That's
gross.
basically a what's the thing that Taylor has to eat in 6
Wheat
seconds?
Bix.
Wheat Bix.
Yeah, I got that literally in this box right over here, Taylor.
We need to do it. I need
You
to pick
need
it
to
up.
come get it.
I love that.
Wheat
come
Bix
get-
challenge.
We have 2 weeks to pay off bets, guys. We got to have bets paid off by the first preseason game.
You know what'd be fun is if on our annual bets pod, if we had the last few bets paid off
live on the
Taylor's
show.
eating
live
a
on
Wheat
the
Bix
show.
on the bets pot. That's
Yes.
a great idea.
That's a really
actually.
good idea. I like that.
We might
So-
get Taylor spit take number 2.
Or just
Taylor
me
can eat the
choking.
Wheat Bix. JD can show off the 30-something boxes of Tim Tams.
I don't. That's going to financially ruin me.
Yeah, I
Tim
can't
Tams
actually
are
get that many.
expensive.
I can't actually get that many.
How much are they?
Well, they're not. They're not cheap enough to buy 30 boxes.
No.
I did
You don't-
see.
you don't
and
owe me
the,
30.
If I
The
make it
number is not
cost
actually 30.
like an Australian Costco.
I did. I did look into it. Amazon sells a pack that, and I almost just sent this to you without even like clearing it with you first. But it's like 32 packs, and I was like, oh, maybe I could do that.
I think that sounds like a good combo.
Whatever you want.
Okay. Yeah.
Taylor still owes me barbecue. I forget what all other payoffs we have.
I have a
so-
Lou Dort love poem to write. So.
Oh
Nick
yeah,
Castle
you
rap.
could read that on bet payoff day.
Sure.
There you go.
When is bet payoff day?
Well, that'll be on
End of
new,
preseason.
new bets day. We'll pay off a lot of these.
Yeah.
What kind of poem are you gonna write?
What?
A
I don't know. It's a love
haiku?
poem. It's a. I
haiku.
can't write haiku.
Not with that.
It's gonna
attitude.
be
Yeah.
two paths diverge into a yellow wood, and I took the one that had Lou Dort standing on it.
Yellow wood?
Yeah, Robert Frost, Nick.
What are you talking about?
I don't think it was a yellow wood.
Was it not?
What are you talking about?
I'll
Look
look
it up.
now.
Two
Robert
paths
Frost
diverge
is
into
a good.
What the
that's a
hell
good
is a
line.
yellow wood?
2 roads diverged in a yellow wood. That's the quote.
Get cultured, Nick.
What the hell is a yellow wood?
The wood is yellow, like it's fall.
The wood or the leaves?
I don't know,
I think he means the wood like the forest, right?
like the forest.
Your wood is
wood
yellow.
No, no,
You can't say that.
no.
You might want to see a doctor.
Twist it.
If it's yellow, you might want to bop it.
All right. Thank you for listening to the Uncontested. We will be back Wednesday.
Guess it's time.
We may have a Sam Presti interview by then that we can talk about. We will see. And then on Wednesday, we will let you know, are we podcasting on Sunday or Monday next week? We got to make a decision. At some point, the 5 of us need to have an actual conversation that's not just shit posting in the chat. So we'll do that soon. Hey, pull that comment back up.
Oh,
As we leave, some words of wisdom from Thunder Chick. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one, as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth.
this is the exact setting I think Robert Frost wrote that poem for. Was to
I have
be
no
on a
clue
Thunder
what the hell that
podcast.
means.
No.
See you guys Wednesday. Have a great beginning of your week, and as always, Thunder up.